Right now at noon, the body of a missing Cassville doctor has been found after more than a week of searching.
After some morning storms across parts of southeast Kansas, skies darkening a bit as additional thunderstorms begin to develop this afternoon. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And all eyes are on the House of Representatives as the bipartisan deal to raise the debt ceiling goes to a full House vote later today.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The body of a missing Cassville doctor has been found after more than a week of searching. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Carrie Worthen. On Tuesday, the body of a Dr. John Forsyth was found in northwest Arkansas. Dr. Forsyth was last heard from in a text messages around 7 a.m. on May 21st. According to the family members, authorities called on Tuesday night to make the announcement. Police say Forsyth was reported missing when he failed to show up for work May 21st at Mercy Hospital in Cassville. His black Infiniti was found parked in a remote area near an aquatic park in Cassville. The car was unlocked with his wallet, 2 phones, a laptop, and other items inside. Police have said there were no signs of foul play. The Missouri Highway Patrol says highway fatalities are in state over the holiday weekend are down a little from last year, but the number are still tragic. There are 314 crashes in Missouri over the long weekend, killing 10 people, down from 13 last year. Police also arrested 130 people for driving while intoxicated. On the water, there were 6 crashes involving boats, but none of them were fatal. There were also no drowning deaths reported. The FBI adds a Missouri man to its list of 10 most wanted fugitives and offers a reward for his capture. Donald Eugene Fields II is wanted for sex trafficking for at least one child in Missouri between approximately 2013 and 2017. A federal arrest warrant was issued for him in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri on December 8, 2022. The FBI is offering a reward up to $250,000 for information leading to the arrest of Fields. Fields II is presumed to be armed and dangerous. If you have seen or have any information, call the FBI at 800-CALL-FBI. Individuals may also submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Now we'll go to Chris Warner in the Weather Center.
Now, we had some scattered thunderstorms across southeast Kansas this morning, and those have begun to die out. However, we have new thunderstorms beginning to develop as we head into the afternoon. First, look at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. A little darker out there as we've got some storms developing, building in some thicker clouds. KDOT camera at 69 and 400, looking good so far, but also cloudy. And that is because, again, we have new thunderstorms beginning to develop. So let's take a quick look. Here's what we're looking at right now on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. You can see quite a few of these scattered storms out toward the Springfield area and points east, but we're starting to get some development in Jasper County and then just outside of Elk and Chautauqua County. So let's take a quick tour at what we've got here. So these have all developed here within the last about 30 or 45 minutes, and these ones aren't very big, but we are starting to get a few thunder showers out there. And then we've got a decent looking line, no severe weather, no strong storms, but a decent looking little batch of storms just outside of Elk County in southeast Kansas. And we take this all the way back to this morning, and you can see the activity we had. It died out, and then you could watch just how quickly, again, within the last 30, 45 minutes, these little storms do begin to develop across the area. So we're going to see those scattered storms continue into the afternoon. Started out yesterday at 68, made it up to 86, so above our normals, but not quite at record points. The rain kept temperatures down up to the north a little bit this morning, but starting to rebound. 75 Fort Scott, 71 Iola. We got 79 Parsons, 74 Pittsburgh, 79 Joplin, Miami, and 80 in Neosho. Quick look at what we're keeping an eye on. Still warm with these isolated to scattered thunderstorms. These chances do continue for the next several days, and temperatures will continue to remain warm as well. We'll have another complete look at your forecast and those storm chances here in a few more minutes. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. Some residents in the 4 states felt like they had a close encounter last night. KOAM Shannon Becker says tipsters blew up his timeline with one question Tuesday night: what just shot across the sky? This is the footage from a doorbell cam in Carterville showing the object in question. Turns out there's a simple answer for the object: SpaceX. The company had 2 events scheduled yesterday, including undocking from the International Space Station and a series of orbit lowering maneuvers. All eyes are on the House of Representatives as bipartisan deal to raise the debt ceiling goes to a full House vote later today. The results could avoid an unpredicted default on a nation's debt. Leaders from both parties are trying to shore up enough votes to pass the measure, even as hardliners on both sides of the aisle express their opposition. Nellie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
I am undecided, but I'm ready to hear what the White House has to say.
On Capitol Hill Wednesday, House Democrats huddled behind closed doors for a briefing with White House negotiators before a high-stakes vote tonight.
I'm confident that we will avoid a catastrophic default.
There are just days to go before the Treasury Department says the U.S. will run out of money to pay its bills. The vote on today's deal would lift the debt limit past the 2024 election, and new projections by the Congressional Budget Office indicates it would cut spending by $1.5 trillion over a decade.
Trillions and trillions of dollars in debt for crumbs, for a pittance.
Some conservatives are putting up a fight, vowing to vote no. There are also concerns from progressive Democrats.
We also need to hold our ground and stand up for the most vulnerable Americans.
The bill squeaked out of the House Rules Committee late last night with 2 Republicans voting against it. Even with GOP hardliners opposed, Speaker McCarthy has signaled to reporters the votes are there.
No, it matters. It's going to become law.
If the bill passes the House, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has put lawmakers on notice.
Senators should be prepared to move on this bill quickly.
That he wants to bring it to the Senate floor as soon as possible. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
House lawmakers are expected to go through a process of offering and voting on amendments to the bill before a final vote, which is expected sometime later this evening. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on the KOAM News at noon, a carpenter from Minnesota is using his woodworking skills to help rebuild the famous Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. And later, we're making a lemony frozen iced tea in their Mr. Food Test kitchen. A carpenter from Minnesota is using his woodworking skills to help rebuild the famous Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. A devastating fire tore through the roof 4 years ago. CBS's Ian Lee has the story from London.
When flames engulfed Notre Dame in 2019, the French president vowed to resurrect the iconic cathedral within 5 years. 4 years in, architects are celebrating a huge step toward restoration, raising a portion of the new roof.
You can see through the plumb bob.
With help from Minnesota carpenter Peter Henriksen, who says it feels like a trip back in time. He's using some of the same tools and techniques of his medieval predecessors.
I think it's amazing that people in 1100 could do all this.
While it would be faster to use power tools, workers say doing it by hand pays tribute to the craftsmanship of the cathedral's original builders.
It's a little mind-bending sometimes. Think about there were medieval carpenters cutting this, basically the same joint 900 years ago.
Artisans are using some modern technology to speed up reconstruction, like these computer images, to ensure their hand-chiseled beams fit together perfectly.
The traditional carpenters had a lot of that in their head. They had sketches.
Henriksen is working alongside mostly French craftsmen and says it's an honor to help bring this historic landmark back to life. Ian Lee, CBS News.
French officials cut down more than 1,000 historic oak trees in some 200 forests across the country to rebuild the cathedral's fire-ravaged roof and iconic spire. Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
As it starts getting hotter week after week, we're all looking for ways to stay cool and hydrated. We have just the thing to help you out. We promise.
But first, those afternoon thunderstorms beginning to develop around the area. We'll take a look at the thunderstorm chances for today and the next several days when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. We've got some scattered thunderstorms developing once again across the area as we head into the afternoon hours. That was following some scattered storms this morning across parts of southeast Kansas. So I want to take you on a quick radar tour. Let's take a wide look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And I want to back this up. I want you to watch just a couple of areas in particular here. We've got these storms here in Jasper County and parts of Berry County, Lawrence County, and then we've got these storms just outside of our viewing area here. And when we back this sucker up, we only have to go back about 45 minutes, and you can see where there was pretty much nothing. And these storms get going pretty good. Now, the good news is there's no strong or severe storms out there, but you got some good thunderstorms. We'll start with these ones here around the Carthage and Joplin area as they're starting to get going. Again, no strong or severe storms out of this, just some much-needed rainfall, but those scattered storms definitely starting to get going across the area. And we'll head out here just outside of Elk County where you can see these thunderstorms over here, a little bit more lightning with those storms as they continue to roll through the area. And we can show you how all of this looked as we go back in time to early this morning when we had this batch of showers and thunderstorms. It got its stuff going, then it died out as it rolled to the east, and now we're getting the new scattered thunderstorm development taking place across the region. The good news is, latest outlooks from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center have still just left us for some general thunderstorm chances. Yesterday at this time, they added in that risk for some stronger storms, and we got some, but right now that's not what they're anticipating. So that is some good news. We don't need the severe weather. We just need the rain in the area, and we'll continue to get it. So here we go. In time, by 5 o'clock, a few more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, all feeding off that daytime heating. And as we head into the evening, they will start to die down because they'll lose that energy from the daytime heating. And they'll be left with a pretty decent overnight and not a bad start for us on our Thursday. But again, as we head into the afternoon, more scattered showers and thunderstorms will begin to develop and roll through the area. And then again, by the time we start getting later into the evening, they lose the energy, they lose that daytime heating, and they start to die out. We go into Friday afternoon, and here we are practically the same time, 1 o'clock Friday, more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. So again, it's much needed rainfall. We need more organized rainfall out of all of this, but at least there is some out there. And again, once we head into the evening hours, it's done. Taking a live look at the KOAM studio camera here just south of Pittsburgh, just north of Crestline. We got some of those dark clouds, got the shower activity off to our south here from the studios. Taking a look at the MoDOT cameras across the metro area, getting those dark clouds, getting some rain showers on some of them. Others are dry as these storms begin to develop. And as we take a look at the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, we're looking good. So far out of the rain, but it is on the way with more of these storms developing. Got those clouds from the camera at 7th and Range Line. Our news assistant Titus noticed some rain showers on here earlier, but they've since stopped. We got mostly cloudy skies, warm, 79, feels like 81. And up in Pittsburgh, it's still warm as we're sitting at 75. Got cloudy skies building in and still a little bit on the muggy side, but no reported heat index. Now, the rain this morning kept temperatures cooler. We're at 71 in Iola, 75, Fort Scott, 74 up there in Pittsburgh. But outside of that, where some of the warmer weather's been able to build in, we're sitting upper 70s, lower 80s. We go through the rest of the afternoon, still looking at highs for most of us, mid to even upper 80s. Those scattered thunderstorms continuing, and then they'll start to die out as the evening progresses, and we'll transition to mostly clear skies. Heading into tomorrow, again, more opportunities for scattered showers and storms across the area. And temperatures, once again, mid to upper 80s. So these pop-up thunderstorm chances hang with us all the way through Tuesday of next week, as do the temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. But then after that, we take a brief break, not just from the showers, but also from warm weather. We drop back into the upper 70s, and we'll transition to partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. But we still have those scattered storms today, and we'll have them for the next several days. So it's one of those things, don't cancel your outdoor plans, just keep an eye to the sky and keep the SkyWatch weather app handy.
And then while you're outside doing your outdoor plans, you can learn how to make a lemony frozen iced tea in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen after the break. Summer is upon us, and what better way to enjoy the time by the pool than a sweet and sour drink? Howard shows us how to make a lemony frozen iced tea in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
With the weather getting hotter, we're looking for ways to stay cool and hydrated. With that said, we came up with a fun spin on iced tea that I think you're going to love. The first thing we want to do is bring a pot of water to a boil. Once it does, we toss in some tea bags and let that steep for a bit. After the tea is just the right strength, out come the tea bags and we add some sugar, fresh lemon juice, and give it a stir until the sugar dissolves. After this cools for a bit, we'll pour it into a 9x13 dish and pop it in the freezer to set up. By now you might be saying to yourself, where is he going with this? Okay, let me show you. At this point, we take a fork and begin shaving our frozen lemony iced tea, like this. Think of this as the freshest tasting snow cone ever. And when you serve this in glasses as a fun summery change of pace dessert, or as a way to beat the steaming hot days of summer, I know you'll be saying, now this makes sense. To get the recipe for what we call lemony frozen iced tea, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a refreshingly icy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food for the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
All right, so we've got these scattered thunderstorms across the area just entering Elk County, and we've got some pretty good looking thunderstorms in the Jasper County area on the east side of Joplin and just to the southeast of Carthage. The good news is so far no strong or severe storms, and we're not anticipating any of that, but we'll have pop-up storms all the way through the start of next week. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, overnight lows in the mid 60s, but do watch out for these storms because some of them bringing some pretty heavy rainfall out there.
All right. Well, I love seeing you do your stuff over there because you're like, oh, lightning strike. Like, so
I get excited when there's something to track on the Skywatch Storm
All
Tracker.
those weather people are like that.
I don't understand those.
Yeah, they seek variety, something new coming up in the weather.
All right, Doug, what's coming up at 5?
Well, a lot coming up at 5. For starters, May is Awareness Month for preeclampsia, which is a type of high blood pressure. Some women can develop during or after pregnancy. A new survey shows many of us are not aware of the condition. It can be deadly. Now, one mom is making it her mission to educate others. Plus, nicer weather means more motorcycles on the road. We're going to hear from a biker who survived a crash and hear what you should do to keep everyone safe on the roads. And our pet vet on call, Dr. Eva Dudek, is going to answer your animal question. Hope you join us. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.